Hi Stampin' friends, tonight we're going to use the Artfully Composed 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. The coordinating colors for it are Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Just Jade, Mint Macaron, Old Olive, Pale Papaya, and Pear Pizzazz. So let's see here. I wanted to show you a couple of the patterns. There aren't in this one any that I would necessarily always cut out. These would be very difficult to cut out because they are overlaid each other. This one, same thing, very difficult to cut out because it would overlay. Here's the other one, kind of the same thing. There is one that I think is good for cutting out. Here, this is the one I made on Friday, just where I was combining it with the stamp set that doesn't necessarily go with it, but I thought it looked nice with it. So there's that one that I made. And then I'm just going to go ahead and get started on several of these little designs, mostly focused on sentiments. I used a sentiment from our flowering tulips. I'll use this on Friday. I used this thank you sentiment here. And then I used another sentiment that is from a different sentiment set, and I can't remember what it's called. Let's see, here it's called Inspired Thoughts, and it was one I haven't used before. It's called It's Your Time to Be Remembered, to Feel Appreciated, and to Know You're Celebrated. It could be a birthday, or retirement, or a lot of other different things, like an appreciation type day. So I thought that was kind of cute. Okay. So one thing I wanted to mention is this ribbon that is part of the suite. It's a very soft ribbon. It's fairly wide, and I feel like Stampin' Up! Used it pretty well when they just put it like in a strip on the paper, on the page right here, and then just added a sentiment on top because it is really pretty, and it's sort of not very vanilla or white, if we're honest. So it just kind of blends nicely. It doesn't clash necessarily, but it isn't super white, and it also isn't very vanilla, in my opinion. So on this, I used very vanilla. Now I used Whisper White. What's funny and what makes this look very vanilla is these all have some kind of printing or some kind of little extra, what you might have done in the past with like a sponge. This one has kind of some, probably the Calypso Coral, just kind of tiny, lightly sponged on the back. Now this one doesn't have one, but then the one that I cut out here is the one with the writing on it. This one has tiny little grids right here. You can see them. They're like a little, almost like a hexagonal, except they're not. They're pentagonal, but they're like a little grid kind of showing there. Okay, so here are the ways that I imagined using this particular paper. So here I have it with the Evening Evergreen. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it around this piece of Designer Series paper. This back piece is really nice. It has kind of circles and little stripes in here in Old Olive. Looks to me like it's on Pear Pizzazz, and then it's in Old Olive and maybe just a light soft succulent. So that's kind of a fun one there. Have to get that really close. Now this ribbon does kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say fray, but it does have some little edges and pieces that kind of fluff off. So I want to be careful for that. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a little across the top and the bottom. Now this one does look great, I think, as a combining all of the patterns, but it is kind of an aggressive pattern. So I wanted to kind of show you just using one particular one. Now this one I have the leaves going up. It would also be pretty with them going down. It's just kind of up to you how you're feeling like using the paper. So there's that. And then one way I wanted to show you a possibility would be using that thank you punched out of white with a circle die, and then put on, this is the So Sentimental dies. You know, I use these all the time when we're trying to make a sentiment really pop. So there you can see that this one is cut out in the Evening Evergreen, and then this one is stamped in the Soft Succulent. So I think those look nice together on there. And then you could also instead just use a small sentiment and maybe tuck some leaves under there. I'm going to do that on another one, but just to kind of give another look there, you might tuck the leaves under. So that would make a different kind of a layout. Okay, then next I'm going to use the Calypso Coral. And to me, this one, oh, there's another one. I was actually going to use this one. This one, though, I did want to say, looks like Bird of Paradise to me, the plant that has the, I don't know if you've ever seen that plant. So I would have it go this direction. To me, that's what that looks like, kind of an artistic-y kind of example of a Bird of Paradise. But it looks gorgeous on this color, or would also look nice on the Just Jade or the Soft Succulent as well, I think. The Soft Succulent to me is a little bit muted. I would probably use the Jade. But anyway, I think that would make a really pretty one. And maybe put it down in the corner on this one so that you can see both of these little quote-unquote plant bird type things, little Bird of Paradise plants. Maybe put your sentiment down in the corner. Okay, and then this one I thought was pretty. And it has probably the most Calypso Coral. So for this one, I thought that It's Your Time to Be Remembered, to Feel Appreciated, and to Know You're Celebrated would be a great card to put, a great sentiment, I mean, to put on this one. So that was kind of my opinion on this, just to kind of put it right in the center. And this would be another one, again, where I would probably you could use some of the ribbon that we've used before, like this, this one would look good. With these window pane, with the, oddly enough, with the, what do you call those? Philodendron leaves. They have made, philodendron leaves aren't really this color, but they look like little philodendron leaves in the Evening Evergreen. So I think that would be really pretty to add here. Maybe even put a piece of Evening Evergreen under here. It's a color combination that I wouldn't necessarily think of, but I think it turns out nice if you were to put that on here. So there's or have it with one of the lighter colors. That could be pretty as well. Okay, so there's that idea. And then with this one, what I like about it is that it's very soothing. And I think this would make a great Easter card. I think it looks very Palm Sunday-ish, very Hosanna, but it also could look like feathers or something like that. So there's lots of choices with this one. So what I would do here, I'm just going to go ahead and stick that on. Again, stamped instead in the Evening Evergreen, and then I put the Soft Succulent under it with this one. So then maybe to put this on here, let's see, I need to turn it around. There we go. Maybe put this on here. Possibly I was thinking to put this dovetailed one on each side. That could be cute. And then tuck the green and the Soft Succulent under there. Now this green is kind of a combination of Old Olive and Pear Pizzazz to me. So I think this one looks very cute and is perfect for sending to a man. Sometimes we have a little bit of trouble figuring out what to do when we're sending things to men. So if you had a happy birthday sentiment, that to me would be perfect for a man, especially a man that likes to, go to Hawaii or likes tropical vacations. I think it kind of adds to that whole look. Now, this is another of the patterns, and it has the philodendron leaves in kind of a yellow, which is kind of like a heart, a philodendron leaf is. And this is the Mango Melody, in my opinion. So that one could look really pretty with basically the same thing, except doing this in maybe the Mango Melody to make it kind of pop. So as you can see, there are several ways to use this paper, but it is very... it has a lot going on, so I do think that this is one that you would want to kind of show a little bit of restraint, and it might be, I just kind of thought of this as I was working, it might be nice to have several solids placed in here, like on the ones where we're putting it at the bottom or something like that. It might be nice to put a solid strip in there, or maybe dovetail one end and have a little batch there in the corner, like I was talking about here. Maybe a couple of the colors there, just to kind of make a focal point out of that image. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.